World's fastest bumper car update. Welcome back to Bump 200, and this time around we're going to be going nuts. Yes, another small personal investment in accoutrement for refitting all the chrome. 4mm nuts, specifically flange nuts. Yeah, they got that little shoulder on them, and that's because these holes are pretty damn big. Even though the bolts on the framework are not, and yeah, they still kind of, well, they're barely big enough, but it's all right. We've got an assortment of washers as well. Sure, any of them are going to do the job though. We'll see. And that's not all we've been ordering. More on that later. Got any more funding for all this? Talking of which, thanks again for tuning in, whether it be the first time or you're following this ridiculousness. If you like what you see, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy. And give us a donation. Look, the jar's pretty empty. Yeah. In fact, this is what the budget looks like at the moment. So as you can see, I'm way behind. Never fear, we are carrying on regardless. Let's go nuts. Well, that might work. It's tight because it's only just bigger than the old. It's a early morning trip down to Ace. See what they got with a small roll and a big fat washer. They're very helpful people at Ace. They should probably sponsor me, the amount of money I spend with them. Well, things are hotting up, not least of all here in the garage. Yes, we're heading for June and 100+ degrees. So, do forgive me if I get a little bit lethargic. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yes, this lunacidal idea. What next then? Oh yeah, that. Yeah, gotta start getting serious about this. After breakfast maybe. Yeah, perish the thought. Old fucks like me still have breakfast. So, here's another devious plan to give us another 3 inches of track at the front, wherever that may be. But yeah, what if we hung the bumper element off the outside edge there? That'd give us 1.5 inches either side. It all counts. I know it doesn't look like it, but this is precision engineering at its finest. Every millimetre counts, or in this case, 64th, 32nd, 128th. Anyway, then I had another crazy idea. Not a scooter motor, that's never going to get to 200 gigawatts an hour, is it? And no, not my haircut. That was a good idea because it's getting hot. Scooter wheels, yes. 11-inch wheel. Trouble is, this one's only 80mm wide, whereas this one is 130mm wide, and still the 11 inches. So here's what I'm thinking. Bearing in mind we've got this sat on the deck at the moment, and it's going to be at least 6 inches higher. We've got 17 inches at the back, so let's call that 2 foot, right? Plenty of room for 2 of those wider wheels to put the power down at the back. Got to bear in mind you've got to put a tyre on top of that, so that's probably another 4 or 5 inches even. So what are all the pros and cons with this versus just go-kart wheels? Well, firstly, narrower, so more track at the front, like the dragster that we talked about last time. Secondly, bigger circumference, therefore revolving less times at high speed, possibly safer. Cons, might be difficult to find a tyre that is rated for 125+ miles an hour at this size, and of course they're going to be motorcycle type tyres, so they're not going to be kind of flat all the way across like a go-kart tyre in terms of traction. Not a big problem on the front. And honestly, shouldn't be that much problem on the back. I mean, I know traction surface is traction surface, but if we get kind of a squarish profile tyre like on this CB750 that I've got, that might work, if that kind of thing is available. And actually there's an additional bonus to the circumference aspect because of just tyre wear and heat in the tyre. I've just been watching on YouTube interesting program about the 6-wheeled Tyrrell, the Formula 1 car from the mid-70s, And actually, while I think about it, there's also this fantastic guy in Japan that's just built a replica, and he built it from a 1/8 scale model and just scaled everything up. And phenomenal build through a Hayabusa engine in there, I think. Anyway, back onto structural things, and these side panels went inside to give it extra structural support on the slightly weak elements of the fiberglass chassis. I think I'm going to be putting them back on, and I think I'm going to be lightening them because they're quite heavy. I think they're steel. Cleaning them up and painting them, of course. So I've sanded them down a bit, cleaned them up a bit, and now for adding lightness, and we all know what that means. No, not safety goggles. Drill bits. Well, that didn't go well. No. See anything wrong with that? Yeah, nearly broke my wrist and all. Anyway, while we're on this subject of structural rigidity, we've got to start looking at the chassis as well. Yeah, no, I'm not going to build it out of wood. That's for a AC vent somewhere. Mind you, some of the finest cars have been built on wooden chassis. Like Morgan's. Not a fan myself. Though, of course, they have featured in this series because they had three-wheelers in the right format, i.e. 2 up front, 1 up the back. Seems there's a few tyres to choose from. That kind of size. I think a 10-inch is better. Gives you more options. So there's that Kenda there, which looks kind of a flat-ish profile. I like that Pirelli, that looks cool, but yeah, not so flat. That looks flat. I don't think we need white walls, and it looks a bit skinny. We want maximum rubber on the road if we're going for the rear wheel. That Avon tyre looks nice for a bike, but it's not what we're after. Oh, there we go. I wouldn't want to put that on a bike because I wouldn't want to crank it over more than 5 degrees. But that one there looks bloody perfect for our use, doesn't it? Eh? And it's on sale, and it's a Pirelli. Don't get much better than that. That's a shame. Just found an issue with the Pirellis. Yes. 62 miles an hour. No, I think we need to go a little bit quicker than that. Well, it would appear that all tyres for scooters are speed rated at 62 miles an hour, and I'm pretty sure I've seen scooters going quicker than that. We're only going to be attempting twice that speed. What can possibly go wrong? 20% lightness added. So the most sensible thing to spray those with would be this Herculiner stuff for pickup flatbeds, as I've just sprayed my entire FJ with. Yes, am I mad? You know that. Which leads us on to what I actually sprayed it with, which is this interior metallic finish. Why did I do that? Oh, it's going on the interior, and it will show up the holes nicely and look kind of cool. I was doing it nicely, I just sanded it back to bare metal and left it at that. Can't be bothered. So I'm calling this finish, I'm calling it industrial chic. Yes, there you go. Yes, you get the general idea. Yeah, nobody's going to see it anyway. So, it's very cool. And before we fit it back there permanently, I've just loosely thrown it in on this side to see where it all lands. And of course, all this lower section may come off if we're going to shave the car down like we said we would, to give us that extra width at the front there. Looks rather space age, doesn't it? Talking of Thunderbirds, no, so yeah, so all that lower section equates to this bit, which, as I said, I want to shave off because that'll give us another 3 inches, right? Talking of which, good news from Blighty and the Guinness Book of Records. We have been accepted for our world record attempt. And actually it was amazingly fast. What I hadn't realised is I hadn't completed the form, but I have now, and we've been accepted. However, there are some stipulations in the regulations that I'm not particularly happy about. And on that cliffhanger, I think we'll call it a day for this week. It's quite a lot of progress. As usual, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, mash the subscribe button. Do tune in next time for the latest update, because there's lots of news coming. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.